end this fucking meeting. Oh, here we go. Perfect.
See, no need to worry whatsoever, Ben. Good thing we don't work in tech. I'll tell you that.
Jeez. Yeah.
How are you, Ben? It's good to see you.
Doing well. Doing well. It's uh
Especially,
it's it's fall, sort of.
yeah, I like you, man. And thanks for giving away, putting the pressure on me. So I'll have to release this soon because
Yeah, you're welcome. Hey man, better work under pressure than not work at all.
so it doesn't work. So it doesn't leak into winter because winter's heading soon to. Well, I guess I don't know about. They keep telling me in Texas like it's fall. I mean, like it's October. I mean, but that's about it.
Calendar wise, yes.
But um, yeah, I guess again because ever since I moved here, we've been breaking records for like 47 days in a row of 100. Hottest January ever. This is supposedly the hottest October ever, but it's only 90. So what are you gonna do?
Only 90. Jesus. Oh, that's gross.
What is it? I guess I'm used to it now.
I mean, if you're set to 100, and I mean, sweat.
Yeah, that's true.
There's,
That's true. I mean, that's going to lead to my poor segue about all things being relative and today's topic. That I mean, because this is one of those ones where I hear a statement, and it makes me wonder, like, what's the underlying meaning or the source? Like, for example, we're also going to do. I have an episode called "All Saints Are Sinners First." I'm like, huh, that's interesting. But uh, but today is the quote is so poor, all they had was money.
that's a good one. I actually didn't have an immediate thought on this one. I had to actually think about this a bit more to uh
Well,
to get
yeah.
my stuff
See,
together on it.
and I was surprised to hear the source was I thought it was something like like I don't know, it doesn't sound like Shakespeare, but maybe F. Scott Fitzgerald or something like that. But it
Hmm.
was actually John Prine, a
Yep.
stoner singer from the 70s, and he actually had some good. He just died, I think, a couple of years ago
It
during
was
COVID.
recent. Yeah, it was
But
recent.
I mean, I love John Prine's music. He had some great ones. I think he had one called "Dear Abby." It was one of his biggest hits.
Hmm.
But this was his song called "The Great Compromise," and it's like I guess it's not really widely known that they say as a famous quote outside of John Prine. So it's I guess a lot of it's probably why I was wondering about it because there's not a lot of information out there on it.
No, I hadn't heard of this one actually. I've heard several others, but not this one. So I had probably some research. And then there's several citations you had provided as well.
Yeah, myself in Chat GPI, but
That's what happened.
the set I guess the idea is the financial resources alone don't guarantee emotional or social fulfillment,
Mhm.
which gives puts a deeper commentary on the human experience and what values we have. Um, like so many things in life are much more important than money. We all know that. I mean, like you and I both have kids. Our families are very important to us. Uh, Society is unfortunately totally obsessed with money, and that's kind of like let's not kind of like it's a downfall. It's a detriment. I
What's
mean,
the
it's
definitive downfall? I mean, it affects everything. I think I think something in here, I was reading through some of the notes and some of the thinking points, and the part about consumption really, and materialism really hit deeply for me as far as
oh
kind of what does it mean?
yeah, exactly.
You can have so much shit, but that you have nothing, I feel like at times.
Well, you remember Vincent Fires? He and I did an
Yeah.
episode once called "I Want This, but I Don't Know Why." It's
Hmm.
something like that because I had found out at work. I bring you bottle water to work. I don't want to kill the environment. I bring it everywhere now, but there's water fountains and there's ionized water. I'm like, damn it, I want ionized water. I
What the
don't
fuck
know
does that have to
why.
do?
I don't know, but that, but it's like even Oscar Wilde observed like back in the day, to know the price of everything and the value of none. That's I think a great summation of it.
Hmm.
But
No,
things like because we talk about love, friendship, family, health, Johnny Prime, music, culture, science. I could go on and on, but there's so much more. But the sad part of it is well, here's another one. I think I can't recall who said it, but what does it profit a man if he gain the whole world and suffer the loss of his own soul?
I heard that
That's
somewhere once.
yeah. See again. See,
It's a pretty famous quote, I think, somewhere. Some dude said it.
yeah, we should probably look it up and give that, or it might be some lady. But I mean, let's be honest, back in the day, probably some dude. But
Yeah, not those
but
are the good old days, to be clear.
there's going to be good. There's And we also have an episode. Oh gosh, there's another one. I'll tell you. Well, I'll bring it up too because I got to stop referring to episodes because like that's my life. But we also talk about tycoons. Like you and I both used to live up by Pittsburgh, and tycoons in the area like the Rockefellers out of New York,
Hmm.
the
Carnegie.
Andrew Carnegie, big, but they were they kind of ran the world back in the day in the industrial revolution, but they also donated so much to the world. It's a lot of people don't realize the
Yeah.
benefits we're still reaping from it, like the Carnegie libraries. But but the statement highlights the distinction between marital wealth and emotional or psychological well-being, where like money can provide comfort and security, but it doesn't guarantee happiness or fulfillment. Now that I have
Hmm.
the reference. That was somebody named I can't Diener and Seligman. Diener and Seligman from 2004. I
Yeah.
don't know who they are. Just want to give them credit. But
Man, did you use APA for this citation?
APA? No, I didn't. I probably
Man,
should have.
or
But people,
MLA?
but people with financial resources are saying still experience loneliness, depression, that kind of thing, lack of meaningful relationships.
Hmm.
Which I mean, you and I both know that. We don't know the stigma of having wealth, but we
No,
can
no.
we could
Gotta.
probably we can understand where they're coming from.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think you look at people who, I mean, people who say move up at times in a company. I think we worked with a few where they were living elsewhere from their families. They might have been
Yeah.
high up in the company, but I don't know what they may seem momentarily satisfied. But what's the long-term effect? If you go home to an empty house, you go home to a house that is you're not connected to, that's a bit challenging. I think
And that's a
that's
good point because even on a minimal level for myself is like when I was raising the boys on my own to get
mhm,
that money to keep driving well first of all to get money for us to live, but then we kept we accidentally got promoted and moved up the ladder and kept, and then it's like more and more time it's felt like now looking back away from home, maybe I should have stayed a little more at home as opposed to aligning good babysitters
mhm.
or whatever, but
No, that's tough.
working
And
the
I think self-awareness is important in all this. And maybe that's something that, as far as it goes, like knowing what you're doing and why, being comfy with it.
yeah,
And
it's it. I mean,
good.
it's good. I mean, because I get it. I mean, and because when I started this podcast, it was like, understand who do you want to be your audience, and I'm like, well, me. I think, and
It's
oddly,
only
it's
one you,
turned.
Tim, Mitch. It's only one you, Mitch.
Thank you. And evidently, there's only, but and there can be only one, and for many people, thank goodness. But uh, now you maybe forget where I was going. But the thing is, now my demographic has 50% or like our age group and from like your age on up 50% of the audience. I
Jeez.
mean, because it covers two groups. It's okay,
Okay.
you're still down, but we could, but oddly I like to think, I hope that what we're discussing helps because we also have about 18% of the demographic in their 20s
Hmm.
and and younger, and hopefully this helps them understand what they get, because but I think it's going to resonate more like people with my age as you get closer and closer to the end, literally, and then the end ideally of maybe your work life. If you're thinking about retirement, you have to understand like what are you still willing to give up to be getting more? When is it time to go? When can you go? That's what I'm thinking of.
Sir, I think I'd like to think that 18% demographic can there's some wisdom in this perhaps as they're coming into their lives and just the certain items that you cited here, the certain references, and it's important because you can get into the what you're doing career wise and development wise, whatever, to climb that ladder. But I think if it were me years ago, I don't know if I would have made the same choices. I mean, to be clear,
Yeah,
I'm
see,
very, very satisfied with life. I don't want to, like, man, I'm just a dark spot. That's a different podcast. That's a different conversation. No, we are well, but the youth is wasting on the young, I think is a quote. I forget who said that, but
we got to
um,
we got to stop doing that if we're gonna.
yeah, let's just take lists. All
It's
right.
just not us. It's not us. So we know if
No,
somebody's
no.
smart.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to think that was one that I came up with. That's not true.
But
But I think, go
you
ahead.
bring up like you bring up that that they can learn from us, but as you'll see again by a recent episode, we're learning a lot from them because I sat down with my friend Angie from Radford, Virginia. See how this is all coming together? Like a
Hmm.
couple episodes ago, because I keep looking around. I've noticed over the years, like the younger people, I don't want to say the millennials, but that age group, that very young, like between 20 and 40, uh, they're putting off marriage and they're putting off having children and probably putting off, you've seen like they're not satisfied with the careers that are being offered because they're not allowing them the freedom to live a life, to enjoy the experiences. So maybe we should learn from them.
There's definitely a difference. I see it in my sister. I mean, we're 5 years apart, but if you look at the millennial, say, grouping, they're a subsex, right? And I think
Mhm.
5 years between the early millennials, the elders like myself, and her age, the 5 year difference there's a drastic difference in what they go for, what their goals are in life. The work-life balance, sometimes it's like, oh God, just go do your job. Other times it's like maybe you have a point. I don't want to listen to that because I can be prideful. Like, oh, I know what to do. I'm the older sibling.
Yeah.
I know what to do. You're young and don't know shit. But the
And part of you
reality
is
is,
like, it's gone. You can't go back and do anything
yeah,
about it.
yeah, that's also maybe it's a little bit of envy, just a little.
Well, I think yeah, it's because you're getting, I mean, I see a lot of people coming over into our country from other countries, and God bless
Oh
them.
man, this could go
You know,
two different ways, by the way.
uh-oh.
Let's go. I'm just
Well,
saying, let's go the positive way.
well, let me see if I can. But it's
We
conspicuous
certainly can.
consumption from what we're seeing, like social media. I think that the things that make people that I see when they start getting some money, getting a little bit ahead. I notice a high propensity of buying cars,
Mm.
and buying the clothes, and it's like. And honestly, I see in them, and I'm embarrassed. Like that's probably where we got it, or they got it from, is from us.
Yeah, the model that's
Yeah,
set.
yeah.
That's
It's like,
not. Yeah, that's not ideal. When we went to, I would always been kind of critics of the consumerist culture. To my wife and I won't name drop her yet. Let's get a couple more of these into us.
yeah.
Um, but well, then we went to the UK years ago. This is 2012, 2011, early on in our
Mhm.
marriage, as in 2 months into our marriage. Um, but that was something that we noticed. There was definitely I don't know if you can hear the dog. Oh, just if you can, she's going crazy. Anyway, yeah, you look at this the culture, and we go to the UK, and it's like, oh, this is different. But they were talking about the radio. It sounded like maybe they were a few years behind us about the consumerism starting to kick in. Like the
Oh
people
yeah.
care about these little material things now. It's like, man, well, so that's interesting to kind of see because we were just used to the US where, I mean, using debt to pay for debt kind of stuff was a was a thing.
Oh God, it's terrible because and we just recently went, back to Scotland and took a jump over to Norway,
Hmm.
which I mean, for me to be able to, like we talk about, to what ends do we want to, what means we get that was nice for me to be able to spend some time with my son. We got to visit, see what but again, I don't think because we noticed like at one point, like it was Saturday afternoon, like at about 2 o'clock. We didn't really have anything on the agenda, but I'm looking out the window at the neighboring, like, because we rented an Airbnb, and like a lot of people were out on their decks or their patios and just having a glass of wine. I'm like, we should do that instead of, because there's an argument that states, the conspicuous consumption that we talked about a second ago is primarily a means to signal social status and distinction. And is that really that important? I mean, social status. I mean, isn't like in your own heart, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's certain subsects that it can be, and for people, for certain people, I don't know. I mean, for that's always a challenge to see it happen. And as you have children to kind of hopefully steer them away from that, like that, this is not where we want to go. I mean, kids are going to make their own choices, not under my roof, but eventually. Um,
Oh, brace yourself.
no, no, I
Oh,
know.
but
Um,
but yeah, but it just like it just seems so wasteful. It's like,
mhm.
it's just so much. I mean, I like to think that I pare it down, and I'm just like, back when I was raising my kids on my own, they were like, don't go to the grocery like, go to the grocery store every day and let your body tell you what you want that day, instead of like, oh, this is gonna be great. But it's like back then I couldn't afford it. I can barely afford it now with the damn economy the way it is.
Mhm.
But I think I pared it down to like I don't want, because I used to like, now living, yeah, I can hear you, dog. But but
No,
yeah, I mean, living alone, it's like sometimes I won't go through a whole sack of potatoes before they start sprouting. It's like,
yeah,
but so now I go off and to the store and buy smaller quantities, and
that's the way to do it. It becomes a matter of it feels like at times the wastefulness can be attributed to time as well. How much time do you have? You have 1 hour of one day to go to the grocery store, and it feels like at times. So you have to plan for the week, which means meal planning, which is great versus going out to eat and eating all the
Oh
rubbish.
yeah, yeah. That's another thing I'm
But
doing too.
the challenge is that like you only have so much time to do that one thing, and so you got to get all your stuff for the week. And then what happens? There's something happens at work, and you work late. Well, I can't do dinner tonight, and that potato goes south and starts growing little spores on it. And then this
You keep
happens,
giving
and like, oh shit, that bread's now moldy. And that
you
wasn't the
keep
plan.
you keep giving me good ideas for episodes, Ben. That this one's going to
Good.
be called "That Potato Goes South."
I mean,
But
there's so many potatoes ahead of us. We're gonna do one where it creates electricity and lights the light bulb up.
well, see, but we're never. I don't think you and I are ever going to get to the point where. Well, I think we, knowing what we did back in the day when you and I worked together, that we used to strive so hard, maybe not for capital, but for to get the job done that it could impact your health. Like,
See, thereof.
yeah, nobody should work 31 days in a row. It's
No,
but
no,
we
there
we
are
sure
rules within
did.
companies that say you cannot, like, you can't. There are certain reasons for that, but it's at only a certain level that kind of stops. It's like, you work for us now. We got you
Well,
trapped.
I like this other comment that somebody made, and it's way too long a reference. So I'm not even going to tell you. But the health implications associated with the quote unquote poverty of spirit. See, it's not just physical health, but also mental health. You know that your spirit just gets so demeaned, you're so beat down. At some point, you're like, I'm just going to walk the hell away from my computer. Like I was working with a guy a long time, a few years ago. It doesn't need to be named. But I was messaging him at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I was like, where are you? He's like, I've left. My brain hurts and I'm not coming back today. So it's like, okay, I get it. But
I think that's something that the those that are I don't want to age I don't want to be ageist, but those that are newer to the workforce than us can actually
yes,
provide insight to.
yes. And
As
you
much
are.
as much as the my instinct is just go through it, power through. I think that that's something that say my sister and her husband have a really good grip on is all right. Mental health's more important than getting this job done for these people who don't even know me.
Yeah, I'm
All
learning
right.
a lot from my son too.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of that prioritization of travel, of life experiences. Um, so I'm learning to do more. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not dead yet. I'm close. You know, I'm
No,
probably
no,
two
you look
decades.
alive and well.
I'll probably in my mind, I'm 3 decades away, but in my mind also, that's not a lot of time. So it's, I'm starting to prioritize life and it's not too late. I guess that's one point we can make. If
Mm-hmm.
you're, if you keep driving and keep going, again, at our age, at my age specifically, because I'm about 40 years older than you, but,
That's
but,
an exaggeration. It's
but
only 39 years older.
if you're lucky and you've been to have a kind of life where you're staying in the same job and you work hard, you get promoted, you get realized, you get appreciated, you keep going up and up. But where's enough? So it's like, I mean, hopefully soon it's going to be enough. But at some point, I mean, what do you think, Ben? It's like even if you're not there, does it make sense? Like I have often thought of, and don't laugh. I know you're going to go there, but don't laugh. But to just trying to get bail out of my other job. And I've got some savings, but then go get that job like I've always wanted out on the runways at the airport, the people chucking the luggage, the people driving those vehicles, doing the stick things. I've always wanted to do that.
I feel like there's a more technical term for stick things.
What?
As one who owns the stick and one
Oh
who
yeah, well,
perennially has the stick,
you
I
are the
think there's a more
legend.
technical term. I couldn't tell you
Well,
what it is though. A
the
glowy stick.
flashlight, yeah, the flashlight. See, that's even better. The flashlight stick dudes. Or how about this? I live in Texas. I've always wanted to be a pit master. So go in town, get a job just cooking briskets, and then learn how to
Mm.
do that, and then maybe develop that into like where you're going to end up.
Yep, I've had dreams since we lived up in Pittsburgh, with you, not in your home, but we were there together.
Mhm.
I said not in your home,
You would have been
but
welcome. You would have been
oh,
welcome.
yeah, that would have been great. Wish you would have ever invited us, but I mean, you have your own priorities. We also had an infant, and that's a fun time. Uh, but I always had dreams of opening up like a beer truck where you've got just like an ice
Oh,
cream truck, just driving through the neighborhoods.
you told me about
Certain,
that before.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'd still love to do it. Just too
Would you
scared.
Would you play music?
I don't know. What do you play? I mean, you want it to be open, you want it to be enticing to everybody. You can't play like club music because then it
Oh
incites
God,
a
no.
party. But what do you want to do? What do you crowd it? Maybe it's the demographic of the neighborhood you're in.
Well,
Yeah, you said,
or the season.
yeah, that could be a thing too. I mean,
Because you mentioned the fall, it's like now Oktoberfest. Like, give me some
pumpkin
good beer. And
beers.
oh, dude, you had me, then you lost me.
Oh, yeah, Oktoberfest beers, blah blah blah,
Yeah, there you
whatever.
go. Okay, but I
Coffee
think the
stouts.
oh yeah,
I'd be a
oh
port
yeah. See,
whiskey.
now you're talking.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now
Now
you
you're
get cold,
talking.
something that just heats you up inside. What
Yeah,
do you
because my
call it?
son and I, we're gonna do an episode on rye whiskey coming up
Mm,
soon. Because something about when it gets cold out, it's like, oh, the rye whiskey, yeah,
hmm.
and a
Yeah.
cigar. Oh man,
Yeah. So it's always one of those things, man. It's like how comfortable do you want to be with the choices you want to make as well? I mentioned the the camp I go to with my buddies every year. It's been a 5 year thing, and we're fortunate to have the fortune,
huh?
aka dollar bills, to be able to go buy an out of state hunting license in Virginia, which is not cheap. So if anybody from the fish and game department wants to give me a lifetime license for a discount, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Especially
if
as
you're
you listen to
listening,
this podcast. Yes. But it's also Virginia's a great place to go hunt, to be with the friends,
there
to
you go.
spend quality time with a bunch of guys that you see once in a while, but it always comes back like a connection like this. The fortune that we are able to earn in our jobs allows me at least to and us to collect every year and buy a bit of a nicer whiskey and pay for that license and travel and go to the place. But it's always
Absolutely.
it's like where's if I could budget everything that's really just a really good thing to have in there, with all the other bullshit on top of it, cutting the fat. What's that dollar value?
Exactly,
And what's
exactly.
that goal to be comfy
Well, I
versus
mean,
excess? And there's a difference there, I think, between comfortable and excessive.
I don't think you could have summed it up any better, Ben, because we started off with so poor, all they had was money, but it's a reminder like that the true richness in life encompasses more than just financial resources. Like,
Hmm.
the interplay between wealth, happiness, and fulfillment, uh, just what it stands to live a truly rich life. And that's like I say, it's taken me a lot of time to learn it, but now I'm contemplating. See, that's what I wanted to talk today. I'm contemplating when is it time to just walk away and go get the glow sticks out, get to the
I think a
airport, get to the.
pitmaster would be more apropos where you currently live.
I get the feeling you wouldn't trust me with the stick, Ben, and I don't appreciate that.
Listen, as the holder of the stick, I do trust you. I bequeath it to you as necessary,
Oh,
but
one
not
day
for
we'll
too long.
tell. See, there's the third episode you give me today. Who's got the stick? Uh,
Like that's a good one. I mean, I
but what
just to think
we
it's a go ahead.
we would have to get Neely on here. We would have to
Mm,
get
yep,
Fires. We would get
yep.
Wojtovich, and if you're all in, we get Bacon, huh?
Man, that would be just a big old clusterfuck. You'd have to have that after a certain point in the day. It'd be much more fun that way.
Oh yeah, after you're 30, because we have to get
Everybody's got to agree on it too. So nobody can be sober in that one.
yeah, we
At least
should
nobody
we
can
have
without beer, I guess. Unless
we
they
should
have an
get
alcohol problem, which case we should probably appreciate that
we
factor.
we would have to get the Grand Master on one cornbread Maxwell.
Oh yeah, yeah, man, that guy. That would just
But
be a
Ben,
big old thing.
but yeah, I think that I've that's a good because I've wanted to, when we did the 100th episode sometime back, I wanted to get like everybody, like, the big names from, the one, because who've done the most episodes and most fun, and get everybody. I don't know if my computer could take it, because I've done four before and the computer handled it, but I'm not sure how much stress the old 15-person Zoom would put on my little
Oh
computer.
man, that's fun. People do that all the time.
All right, Ben. I
And then,
consider that a
now,
challenge.
can the internet handle it? The bandwidth? We could try it.
Yeah, and then afterwards, can the world handle it? All of
Phew,
us.
that would be. Hey man, what are they going to do? Cancel us?
Hey, who's our? Well, I'll talk to you later. But this has been a good, I mean, Saturday morning episode, Ben. A good coffee and discussion, and I think it's just, if nothing else, ideally, is give people like something to think about. No matter what your demographic, your age group is, and just take
Mhm.
a look. I mean, for yourself. Is it already too much? Is it? I mean, where to cut back, and where to like bolster your life. Like I was talking about earlier, I've got a great day in front of me, but it would be nice to have someone to share this great day with. But still, it's like, what's your priorities? And maybe this will help people like take a look and kind of realign.
That would be most ideal to reach out to that I mean, I'd like to think that, like we said earlier, you can mitigate some of the travails that you realize you've had later in life ahead of time.
Yeah, yeah,
But again, it's never too late to stop or to make a change.
I'm with you, buddy.
As long as you have your shit together to figure out what the change needs to be.
And right now, my priority is going to be to let you get on with your day. And as you well know, I have Marino's barbecue. If you're listening, I'll see you soon.
See you,
But
man.
but thank you very much, man. We'll talk soon.
Thanks. Thanks, Mitch.